All right. Hi there. So let's take a minute to talk about the reflection portion of your capstone project. So we're asking you to reflect because it's a good metacognitive practice, right? Metacognition, of course, is just thinking about your own thinking. Uh, in the case of the capstone project, we want you to basically just to think about how did the capstone go from beginning to end, the whole process. And what was your role in how it went, right? So um, it's not enough just to say, well, it went really well, and it went really well because I'm awesome and I know all of this stuff. Um, why did it go well? Uh, were there particular steps that you took that made it go well? Um, would you be able to apply those steps in any other projects that you're working on or any projects that you're going to work on in the future? Um, kind of asking questions like that with a little bit more depth um, about the working process. That's really what we're aiming for here. So reflection can be a really positive and really valuable experience, a summative experience of your capstone. So that's one of the reasons we're asking you to do it. Now let's take a second to go through the prompt that we've created for the reflection. So as you may know, the reflection portion of your capstone should be about a page, should be about 250 words, um, or something of similar kind of heft and weight and time. If in the case that it's a video or a different kind of presentation of your reflection. So the prompt for your reflection um, wants you to address a handful of questions. Here they are. So did you make the project that you set out to make? Did you make any changes throughout the project? If you did, why? Um, so, for example, I can tell you that um, I'm often very bad at estimating how much time a project will take. And so I often um, will either end up taking longer than I expected to complete a project, or I'll have to change what I initially set out to do. Um, and something I've learned about myself is that when I am going to set out to do a big project, because I'm so bad at figuring out how long things will take, it's really valuable for me to just check in with someone else um, to see if the timeline that I've created for myself is reasonable or not. Um, so that's a insight that I got about my own working uh, experience and my own working practice that um, I was able to reach because I have reflected on my own work in the past. Um, so another question that we'd like you to address in your reflection is, what did you learn throughout the project? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about tutoring and your tutoring process? What did you learn about the world at large? That could be the tutoring world at large, or it could just be the world at large, right? Are there did you learn about new interests that you had? Did you learn about other tutoring practices that you think might be valuable? Did you learn about just new interesting facts and information? Um, if you did, what are you going to do with that information? How is that new information going to change you going forward? Um, Another major question we'd like you to address in the prompt would be, what do you wish that you had known before you began the project, right? Um, it's pretty um, it's pretty fortunate, but also pretty rare for a capstone project to go completely smoothly from start to end. There are usually little bumps and hiccups and issues that can come up. So um, what kinds of issues came up? Is there a way for you to avoid those issues? Would have there been a way for you to have avoided those issues? Is there is there something you could have done that would have helped you out or made the project go more smoothly? Um, or or maybe alternatively, maybe it's a lucky thing that you didn't know this going into it. Maybe there was some sort of positive impact that not knowing this information had, that made you act in a particular way that ended up being beneficial, right? Um, yeah. So what do you wish you had known before beginning this project? Um, what did you get out of learning all of these, learning from all of these bumps and bruises along the way? So um, reflection is a really valuable practice, and it can really help um, sum up everything that you've learned uh, from your project, and can really fit the project into your life in general, right? Um, you know, uh, you could just have this project be a one-off thing that you do just to complete your CRLA, or hopefully, ideally, you'll be able to take the things that you've learned from this project and apply them to um, your tutoring career, but all of the other things that you want to do with your life. What did you learn here, and how might that apply in the rest of your life? That would be the ideal. So reflection is a great practice, and something that can be very valuable. So I hope it goes well for you. Thanks.